You're making me wait too long to eat this. Well worth the effort to put together. Yes, it's really, really good.
Hey, how's it going? This is Owen. I am with CNET Home, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a meal kit delivery service comparison. We'll be looking at Blue Apron versus Sunbasket. Now, there are quite a few similarities between these two services because, they're a meal kit delivery service. There's only so many different ways you can do it, but there are enough differences that if you're trying to figure out which meal kit is best for you, you clicked on the right video. We are going to talk about those similarities, and then we're going to get into their key differences to figure out who Blue Apron is going to be best for and who Sunbasket is going to be best for. We should have our video reviews of each service down below in the description. We've been testing out pretty much every single meal kit on this channel, so make sure you look down there. And we might even have some discount codes that save you some money on your first order with either Blue Apron or Sunbasket. So one big similarity between Blue Apron and Sunbasket is their pricing structure. So you can select your number of meals per week that you get delivered. And if you go with their standard 2 servings per meal plan, you're gonna be spending about $12 per serving with both Blue Apron and Sunbasket. Both services do have pretty generous intro offers where you can get your first week of meals at a heavily discounted price. Make sure you look down below in the description for that. One other big similarity that I observed in my testing was that both services have very high quality ingredients. I didn't notice any noticeable difference between the two, and they both go to great lengths to make sure that all the food you receive is organic and sourced from ethical locations, especially the meats. With both Blue Apron and Sunbasket, you should feel good about the ingredients that you're eating. And then the last big similarity I want to touch on is their packaging. Both are pretty darn eco-friendly. I would say Sunbasket gets a bit of an edge here because the insulation they use is made with recycled denim, and the packaging they use for the actual ingredients themselves are made with paper. Blue Apron also does really well in this category. The ice packs that they use to keep your food cold while it ships, you can actually use it in your garden. Supposedly the stuff used inside once thawed is actually really beneficial for your plants. It's like nitrogen or something like that. We actually did use it in our budding garden. Not sure what kind of difference it made, but either way, I think it's really cool. So that's really all the big similarities between Blue Apron and Sunbasket, aside from the fact that they're just meals shipped right to your door. Let's get into the key differences now, and I'm gonna try and frame this as answering what I think are the most important questions you should be thinking about if you're shopping for a meal kit service for yourself. And the first big question is, which one of these two is gonna be more suitable for people with dietary restrictions? And for this question, Sunbasket is the one to go with. When you're actually ordering with Sunbasket, you have several different options to choose from for any kind of diet you follow. They have pescatarian, vegetarian, they have a ton of vegan options, they have paleo. So whatever diet you follow, you should have plenty of options with Sunbasket. And a lot of times the way it works is you'll be able to sub out certain ingredients for each recipe. For example, the taco recipe that I had with Sunbasket had like 6 different protein options, including tofu, fish, shrimp, chicken, and beef. And one of the recipes with Sunbasket that I prepared actually used a vegan cheese, which was actually pretty tasty. I've tasted a lot of vegan cheeses in my life, and this was one of the better ones. Blue Apron does have quite a few options if you are following a specific diet. However, as of right now, they don't really offer any vegan options, which is kind of disappointing. You can always omit certain items from a recipe, but then the recipe will feel pretty incomplete. The next big question we need to answer is which of these two meal kits recipes are easier to prepare? And for me, it was actually Blue Apron. Overall, I would say that the recipes I tested from Sunbasket were less complex than the ones from Blue Apron, but I think the Blue Apron recipe cards were more thorough than the ones I received from Sunbasket. The biggest difference is that the ones from Blue Apron actually feature pictures of each individual step, and it can be kind of hard to just figure out what you need to do by reading it. Having that picture there really does help in my opinion, especially if you're a visual learner like me. For example, the schnitzel recipe that I prepared with Blue Apron was one of the more complex recipes that I've ever tackled. I'm pretty comfortable in the kitchen, but it did feature some steps that I'm not really familiar with, like flattening out a piece of meat with a frying pan and also breading. So despite the fact that this recipe asked me to do some things that I wasn't 100% comfortable with, I didn't get lost at all, which I think just speaks to how thorough the recipes are for Blue Apron. I don't think you'll get lost cooking Sunbasket recipes. I certainly didn't, but I think for someone who's a little less comfortable in the kitchen, the Blue Apron recipes are a little bit more hands-on. For someone a little bit less comfortable in the kitchen, then Sunbasket might get a little bit of an edge here just because the recipes were more simple. A lot of the ingredients were actually pre-prepared, like the pesto sauce that I used in the recipe or this spicy red sauce that I used in the taco recipe. Those were just ready to go. And with Blue Apron, I would have to prepare those sauces myself, which that can either be a good thing or a bad thing. Me personally, I actually enjoy the process of cooking and I like to learn. So being able to make sauces from scratch is actually a bit of a learning process, which I really enjoy. But if that's something you don't really care about, then maybe Sunbasket's recipes might be a little bit easier to prepare. And with the recipe cards you get from each service, they do provide you with a time frame estimate on how long it'll take you to prepare the meal, and I found those to be accurate with both Blue Apron and Sunbasket. The next big question we need to answer is which one actually tastes better? Obviously, this is pretty subjective, and no pun intended, the recipes from Blue Apron blew me away. All of the dishes that I tried with Blue Apron had just that little extra element that elevated the dish to another level. Like the creme fraiche that they added into the French toast dish was just incredible. It really added some balance to the whole thing. And that was probably the second best French toast I have ever eaten. And then with the schnitzel recipe, that thing is probably one of the best things I have prepared myself. I actually went to a German restaurant a couple days before I made the schnitzel, and the Blue Apron stuff was better. And I'm actually saving the recipe card for the tahini lime chicken dish because that sauce that I made, just incredibly good. Now the Sunbasket recipes are perfectly tasty. I did not have any complaints whatsoever. I was eating really well with Sunbasket, but if we're just going on pure taste, I think Blue Apron gets the edge here. So this really leaves us with the biggest and final question is who is each of these services gonna be best for? I would say if you're someone who follows a specific diet and maybe you're not that comfortable in the kitchen and you just want some really high quality meals without putting that much time into it, Sunbasket is gonna be a great option. All the meals that I had were perfectly delicious and they were quick to prepare. Plus, if you're a Sunbasket subscriber and there's a recipe that you think is gonna be really good, but it doesn't just quite fit your pescatarian diet, odds are you're gonna be able to sub out whatever meat for some fish. I could see someone who works all the time, maybe has a family, and doesn't wanna be going to the grocery store all the time or cooking meals from scratch, who just wants nice, high quality, and healthy meals. I would say Blue Apron is probably better for someone who is a bit more comfortable in the kitchen. Their chef-inspired recipes are really delicious, and you'll actually learn a thing or two. I've learned quite a bit just 1 week cooking with Blue Apron, especially the whole breading thing. I've never really done that before, and now I feel like I could do it again pretty easily. Although since the Blue Apron recipes are so thorough and easy to follow, even if you're not that comfortable in the kitchen, I think you'll be able to prepare these recipes and you'll be eating really well. However, just keep in mind that if you're not that comfortable in the kitchen, then these recipes might take a little more time. Blue Apron does have quick and easy recipe options, but the ones that took longer to prepare were definitely my favorite. Make sure you look down below in the description for more details about Blue Apron and Sunbasket, including our full video reviews of each one, and possibly any discount codes that we can find to help save you some money on your initial order will be down there as well. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and you subscribe to the channel. We have a ton of meal kit related videos for you if you've been shopping around, including comparing Blue Apron and Sunbasket to pretty much every other meal kit you've ever heard of. So make sure you do that. For CNET Home, this is Owen. I'll see you in the next one.